Welcome back to the Draw Factor Live here on DBS. I'm going to read out some of your emails a bit shortly. But Stacey, I wanted to ask you, why are some people more coordinated than others when it comes to dance?
Well, I think, we can't put it's a white-black thing anymore. I think some persons have a knack. Some people have the rhythm. Some people have to practice it to get it. Some people just don't have it.
Why is it kind of a black-white thing?
No, because before, when growing up, people say, oh, it's the black people that have the rhythm because we have African descendants.
And that has changed?
I think that
I think so. I think it's good and bad in every culture, whether you're dancing, you're singing, or whatever, you know?
I think the tempo thing, I mean, Caribbean people, South Americans, I mean, maybe it's my appreciation for the type of music or the type of dance, but I think compared, if I were to watch, and I'm not knocking it, if I were to watch a rave where a bunch of Caucasians jumping up and down rock music as opposed to a female whining, I mean, automatically I think that's more, I would appreciate that more. I think it takes more talent, it takes more timing.
I'm sure I could get a couple white women to whine for you.
A couple?
Yes.
I don't think that it has to do anything with the culture. I think it's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes you train for it, you know,
exactly.
but sometimes you have it.
I was about to say, Stacey made a point of saying that you could, I mean, it's something, if you're interested in it, you could actually learn it. Like the classes, I mean, some people would probably learn it faster than others.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question I have here on my sheet. I really want to ask this. St. Lucia has a range of structural dance groups, from Teresa Hall, Helen Folk Dance. I saw her the other day. It was just amazing to see her.
I was in quadrille.
Really? Oh, my, I see her son.
Yeah, I was bad.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, many years they've been the stalwart for traditional dances like the quadrille and so on and so forth. And also we had Teresa, Laurie Collimore's School of Ballet and Modern Dance. Yes. Yeah. Also the cradle for many dancers. Yet none of those can stage a show to pull the kind of crowds that we see in the clubs, you know, like Dance Party and so on. Why aren't those traditional dances, which is our tradition, very nice dances, why don't they pull in the crowds as much as maybe the young going to the clubs type thing that maybe Dance Party would show? Let me ask Lindell that one, and then Stacey will respond. Why do you think that is?
It's a different form. It's a different form altogether, and it's not pop culture. It's I would class it as high art. Ballet, quadrille, these things require a lot of training. It requires a certain temperament. There's a storyline behind it, in addition to the expression. And I don't necessarily think what I do in terms of creating an event for young persons to express their dance form is something that's easily comparable to ballet. You know, I would consider, if I did a successful event for Dance Party, 300, 400, 500, 600 people would be a success. Likewise, if Teresa Collymore or Mrs. Hall would do something for quadrille or ballet, maybe 200 people would be a success. And I don't think necessarily that that's bad. I just think that the product is different and it appeals to a different niche.
Less interest, perhaps.
Well,
would you say?
It depends. It depends. I think there's a certain appreciation that you could have for something which is folk and or ballet, and as opposed to pop culture, something which is seen all around. You know, it's on TV, it bombards you on the internet. It's easier, something easier appreciated and can go out further. You know? Okay.
Well, I mean, saying that and appreciation, I mean, when we go to well-to-do, awesome, you know, nice events at the Natural Cultural Centre and so on, we are sometimes blessed with some really lovely performances from the young and the old. I have to say that I was in Groselay this week and I was disgusted. I went to a place where it was predominantly karaoke and everyone was having a really wonderful time until a young woman, I wouldn't say, I say young, she must have been in her 30s, 40s, I think, 30s, somewhere. And she actually, it was a karaoke night, as I said, she had the mic singing, and there was a pole next to where she was singing.
Pole dancing?
And she just did a flip. She did an upside down.
Cool.
Her legs were in the air. And she had this microphone, and she was like upside down like this with this microphone, gyrating on the pole. Really, no, gyrating on the pole, opening her legs, all kinds of obscenities coming out from her mouth. And before I knew it, it seemed as if the whole of Grosley was there. The women were there with their mobile phones, taking pictures. The men were like going towards where she was. And I was very embarrassed. Grosley is a town where we have lots of tourists going through, and there were lots of tourists in the audience. I thought, where are the bar owners to stop this person from performing that way? Now, it's from singing, it became dance. Now, when I looked at the people in the audience, women taking photographs, men going towards them, there were one or two women who I recognized who looked at me like, wow, what are we doing here, kind of thing. Now, the reason I'm saying this is, it makes a dance, such as she was doing a whining dance, which if she wasn't upside down, it wouldn't look as bad. But instead of people saying, stop, don't do this kind of dance, everyone was just taking it in. My point of all this is that many times we go out, we see people doing all forms of dance, and I don't know why people stare or why people laugh or they think it's entertaining. But I think we need to try and stop this kind of portrayal of dance. How we do it, I don't know. Maybe by just ignoring the person. So if we ignore the person, then they'll stop doing it. I don't know. But we can dance really well in St. Lucia. So if we can dance really well in St. Lucia, we should not support those dances that appear to be downright disgusting, vulgar, you know, and we should go out and support the proper people who are dancing, the arts and so on and so forth. I'm sure the two of you have been in similar situations where you have seen some form of dance that is just inappropriate.
Stacey, you go first, because like a while ago, I think I disagree with you in that sense. The expression, the vulgarity, etc. Sometimes, yes, I agree, it goes overboard, but I actually was at UE last year, and St. Lucia is actually pinpointed as one of the cultures, and you're talking about cultural history, etc., that our dance format is actually very suggestive, very sexual. You talk about people doing the piche, where they joke and stuff. It's something, I mean, it may not be your taste.
It can be suggestive and sexy. It doesn't have to be suggestive.
No, trust me, if you go to one of these dances in the countryside and the people beating the taboo and the piche, that is a joke. You understand? And it's something that I don't know, I don't have a problem with it. And I see the young persons doing their dances and gyrating. You just said the lady flipped up on the pole and was still singing. Yes. That is amazing. I wouldn't think of I wouldn't think of that as in any way being, you know, I think that's a talent.
Oh, you'd be surprised. A lot of the tourists, that's what they like.
Oh, no, I'm upset. Viewers, I mean, do you agree with what they're saying? Do you think that that's entertaining and that's okay? Or do you agree with me that somewhere along the line, we have got to dance a bit more decently? You know the phone number, 451-9788.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all of it is right. I'm not saying all of it is right.
You seem to be more favourable to that, because I think that if you were in Grosley, you would have been one of the people coming front to see what she was doing.
Yeah, I mean, okay, part of my job, I actually stage manage events. And one of the things I don't like is when they bring on young persons on the stage to whine and they go overboard with it. Sometimes they go overboard, but a little sexiness in your performance, I have no problem with that. You know, some of them just do it over and over. Wow. And I think what happens, they get caught up with the crowd and the audience and that kind of high of people shouting. So it goes overboard, but and most of these people are not professionals. A professional will dance, tease, do something sexy, and then stop. You know, just a tease, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But sometimes the persons who are not necessarily professionals, the crowd is jeering, they make a noise, so they continue doing it, and it goes overboard. But I honestly, the man in me, the male in me, would love to see a woman, you know, whining and having fun while she dances.
I think most, well, it means that most of all the men are going to be heading to Grosley next week then. Well, I think that it's something that I would have liked to say something about, but I was in shock. I could not believe that, you know, the dance was so suggestive and everyone accepted it. I just could not believe it. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, welcome to Law Factor Live.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good night.
Good evening.
I'm just I'm just a foreigner actually in St. Lucia, in a very prominent hotel, looking at that show right now live.
Okay.
And I'm listening to you, the host, making mention of the vulgarity in that young lady that was performing at Grosley. And I'm taken aback. I don't know if the two folks with you right now, if they're locals, but I'm taken aback by the fact that you mentioned that there was vulgarity in her performance. There were obscenities being used, profanities being used. And I'm wondering, the gentleman next to you is actually agreeing to sexy, is actually saying that he thinks this is sexy. And I'm really taken aback. Where is the cultural aspect of that? How does that transmit to tourists looking appreciated it to the point where it's vulgar and she's using profanities?
Well, the profanities aspect, I'm good night to you and thanks for commenting, but the profanities aspect, I don't think it's something that should be done publicly, especially in an open area like Grosley. That's not something I support. I wasn't there to see the gyration and the vulgarity that.
But the host just meant she made mention.
I specifically said though that the fact that she went up on the pole and was singing, I find that amazing.
Well, but you didn't ask. I don't know what she was wearing, but if she's up on a pole,
I will tell you what she was wearing. She was wearing, I'm sure you know the tube tops. They're about maybe 6 inches wide. So she had this 6-inch wide tube top, and I think she just had another tube top on her waist.
But that can't be St. Lucian culture. That clearly cannot be. I mean, I'm just a foreigner at a prominent hotel, looking at this show, and I'm taking offense to the fact that I love St. Lucia to death, and I'm listening to you. I mean, Grosley is a very prominent area in St. Lucia where a lot of tourists visit. I visit Grosley as well, and I'm going to tell you something. If I'm in the atmosphere at a moment where this young female is performing, and she takes it to that height, I would be turned off.
Then that was my point. I think that, and we dance very well in St. Lucia. We dance amazingly well, and I just feel that we should stop that kind of performance happening.
Totally. I totally agree. That does not demonstrate St. Lucia culture.
Yeah.
I'm just listening. Again, thank you for having me, for taking the call.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
I was going to ask him a question, but he left.
Let's go to another call.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to the break. Okay, we're going to go to the break, and when we come back, we're going to look at some of our winners tonight. This is The Law Factor live on DBS. We'll be right back.